Okay, this is for Algebra 7-1, and we are starting a new unit. And I just want to warn you, I'm going to be using two different colors. So if you want to use two different colors, you're more than welcome to. I just think it's going to be helpful when we get down to classifying, just so you can see the difference in the names. So if you want to pause and get two different colors, I can find a boring red and blue pen. That's all I can find. So, but you don't have to do two different colors. But you guys, I'm excited about this unit because this is where, I don't know, I really like this unit, talking about what we call polynomials and all the things that you could do with polynomials. And what I think what's exciting is when we were face to face, I could see everyone's faces and you see all these pictures in math and you see all these crazy equations and you're going to see it during this unit. This unit and the next unit are quadratics unit. So I'm really excited about these next two units. So we're going to talk today about polynomials, and we're going to classify them. That's what this is doing. Then we're going to add and subtract them. So the adding and subtraction won't be too hard as long as you keep a couple key things in mind. First of all, we got to understand what the heck is a polynomial. So I believe last unit we talked about monomial, and I'm going to write in, I like this blue pen a little bit better. So monomial is one term. Mono means one. So it means one term. So for example, we have like a negative 2x to the fifth power. Okay, that's one term. Okay, that's one term. Now poly, P-O-L-Y, means more than. So it's more than one term. And we will name the polynomials. We'll classify them according to what we call the degree and the number of terms. The number of terms you won't have a problem with. The degree, I know it gets a little crazy. Not crazy. It's not too bad, but anyway, more than one term. And we name them named by, or named according to, sorry, not named by, according, sorry, shouldn't write in pen, according to degree, and we're going to talk about what that is, and number of terms. That's a number of terms. Okay, that symbol has so many different meanings now. Pound, hashtag. In math, that's number of terms. Okay, so for example, here's an example. We have 3x minus 8 plus 4x to the fifth. So those are three terms, and then we're going to talk about what's the degree. Now, standard form. You've heard this before in linear equation when we had ax plus by equals c. I don't want to confuse you here. But it's when we have polynomials and we have exponents, it's when you write the polynomial's exponents highest to lowest. It also needs to be in alphabetical order. So we'll be using a lot of different variables. So if there's a multiple of variables, like an x and a y, we usually will put them in alphabetical order after we put them in order based on their exponents. So we'll talk about that. So now here's where I'm going to do two different colors. I'm going to do red for the degree, and then I'm going to do blue for the number of terms. Now, the degree talks about the exponent. Again, these are your exponents. Now, if we had a 0 as an exponent, usually that's going to be a constant. That's going to be a number. I'm going to show you why. So like if we had the number 8, well, you don't see a variable there at all. It's like saying you have a variable x to the 0 power. Well, what's anything to the 0 power? That's 1. So that's saying like 8 times 1. So if you just have a constant, if you just have a number by itself, that degree is 0, okay? Because there's no variable, okay? So that's a constant. I should put no variable for you guys. No variable. Okay, there's no variable. Now, degree of 1, linear. That's what we spent most of our first semester working with, is linear equations. So for example, like y equals 3x plus 2. That exponent, or that could have been a number, that is 1. That exponent is 1. So if you only have a variable by itself with no exponent showing, that exponent is 1. 2, or a degree of 2, is quadratic. Okay. I always spell this wrong. Quadratic. R-A-T-I-C. So quadratic. And I did look this up. Why is it called quad when there's two? And I forgot what the meaning was, but anyway. Okay, so 3, cubic. A cubic function. 4 would be quartic. Q-U-A-R-T-I-C. 5 would be quin. So you guys, if you know your Spanish, I believe. Anyway, the quartic, quintic. I mean, I don't know what it is. Okay, then when it's greater or equal to 6, it'll say the 6th degree, the 10th degree. So whatever the number is, that degree. Now, I will tell you guys, the 3 that we really the 2 that we work on a lot in Algebra 1 is linear and quadratic. When you get to Algebra 2, you will be doing these things. So these are going to be our main ones here, the constant, the linear, and quadratic. Now, this is not something you have to memorize forever, okay, you guys? It's just being able to recognize the terminology. Now, number of terms. Number of terms is going to be important. So if there's only one term, it's a monomial. Monomial. If there's 2 terms, it's a binomial. So you're going to have 2 terms, okay? What do you think? Like bicycle, okay? Tricycle, a trinomial. There's 3 terms. Now, if there's 4 or greater, they just classify them by, say, polynomial. They can't classify them any more specific. So if there's 1, 2, or 3, you will use monomial, binomial, and trinomial. If it's 4 or more, you'll use polynomial. Okay, so we're going to find the degree of each monomial. Now, the degree is found in a single term by adding the exponents. Only in that single term, okay? And if it's not, it's going to be the highest one. It's going to be the highest exponent. So when this is a single monomial. Now, this is x squared y to the first. Don't forget that. So this degree is giving them the 3rd degree. So this is the degree of 3, okay? So that's going to be like a cubic. Well, we'll talk about classifying here anyway. Find the degree. I won't classify it. Now, 12, that's just a constant. So that degree is 0, okay, because there's no variable. This one, notice it's one term because it's all together. Each one of these have an exponent with it, have 1. So that's going to be, okay, the degree of 4. This one, b cubed c to the first, that's also a degree of 4. It has nothing to do with the number, though, the coefficient. It has nothing to do with it. It's just the exponents. When they're a single term, you can add the exponents together, okay? Now, classifying. We're going to classify. This is where I'm going to use 2 different colors, too. So we're going to classify by the degree and number of terms. So sometimes I like to do the number of terms first. So there's 3 terms because it's separated by an addition or subtraction. When they're separated by addition and subtraction, that tells you the terms. So this is going to be 3 terms. It's going to be a trinomial. Now, technically, I'm going to do blue here. Trinomial is going to be in the back, is a second word, trinomial. Now, so a lot of times it's easier to do by the terms first, but that's going to be, you're going to say something and then trinomial. Now, let's look at our exponents. I would actually rewrite this and put it in standard form. Put it in standard form, meaning you're going to rewrite this to where it's 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. I'm just going to rewrite it to where the leading coefficient, the leading term, has the highest exponent. Now, this is the highest exponent. Okay, now, when there's multiple terms, you're going to look at only the leading term. So this is going to be a quadratic. It's going to be a quadratic trinomial. Quadratic trinomial. Again, I'm not going to expect mastery or anything like that. I just want you guys to understand when you see terms like this, what it's representing. I'm not even going to quiz you on it. Okay. By the degree and number, I would put it in numerical, or standard form. 7k cubed plus k squared. Be careful, that's minus k. That's a negative 1k plus 64. Okay, put in standard form the exponents going least or greatest to least. Okay, and your constant should always be at the end. All right, so there's 4 terms. So your 4 terms is a polynomial. Okay, polynomial. Then the largest or the highest exponent is a 3, so it's going to be cubic. A cubic polynomial. Okay, if you want to pause and try the rest of this yourselves, you sure can. I'm going to make actually 2 videos here. So this is going to be the first page. This is going to be 4x squared plus 3x, and that is a binomial. If I knew how to pause this and start correctly without making another one, I would do it, but I don't know how. Quadratic. Not with the lady out there, but okay, be careful on number 8. So pause me, and you guys do it, but be careful on number 8. That's a negative. Negative n cubed plus n plus 24. Well, that's 3. Trinomial. Now look at the leading exponent. That's cubic. Okay. Oh, okay, so number 9. Number 9, this has A's and B's. So you want to start with the A, so A cubed. Now this is going to be a little confusing. You have A cubed, so you want to go with the A's. Go down with the A, so I'm going to do that. Plus 5A squared B cubed plus 2AB minus 2B cubed. Okay, so what's happening here when we put them in order? The first letter, the alphabetical letter, in alphabetical order, the A is going to come first. Now go in order with the A. So that's A cubed, A squared, A to the first. Then B's are going to go backwards. They're going to go B, oh, well, not really. B squared, B cubed. So really, don't worry about the B's. You always start with the one in your alphabetical order, the one that comes first in the alphabet. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a polynomial. Now, the leading one. Don't add any of these. It's just this leading one. So this is going to be a cubic. Can you imagine adding all those? But that's going to be a cubic polynomial. All right. Now we just have a negative 2x. Well, the negative 2x, okay, so there's like if there's just x there, that's like a 1. So this is only a 1 term, so this is monomial. Now, if it only has, it's a linear, if there's only one, the exponent's 1, so this is a linear monomial, meaning if we graphed that, that was going to be linear. Okay, so I'm going to pause that, or stop that, and then our next part 2 is going to be adding and subtracting. You want me to put this back in case you need to take a screenshot or whatever. Okay.